Hey YouTubers, it's Troy here again. Today I'm going to talk about why freelancers have to develop a niche to succeed. I think it's very important to do that because it's something that differentiates you from other people and it gives you advantages in the marketplace. So myself, I've developed a niche in outdoor adventure riding and in sciences and environmental science. So that's sort of the market that I target. It's also the sort of publications that I look for. There's three reasons why I should be developing a niche. The first one, as I said before, is to stand apart from the competition. There's a lot of freelancers out there, and if you become specialized in a certain area, then you're going to have an advantage over a general freelancer. And that leads into the other two reasons why you should have a niche. The second reason is because then you start developing your contacts. And in the newsroom, good journalists have good contacts. So if you're working as a freelancer, you need to develop strong contacts as well. And so when you've got a niche, you can develop contacts specifically for the sort of stories you want to write. So let's say you're specialized in European cuisine. So in that case, you'd start making connections with people in that industry, chefs, people in the food supply chain across Europe. And gradually you'll develop story ideas that no one else can get. And so that makes you unique, that people will start paying you for that, and you'll notice you'll start getting to more exclusive magazine titles or online publications. So that leads into the third reason you have to develop a niche, and that's because you start leading the agenda. So as you're working with these people, you'll develop story ideas that no one else thought of. You'll notice trend changes. And so that's the sort of thing that magazines want. They want to be at the cutting edge and have stories written that no one else has. And so if you've got these niche and you've got if you have very good connections, then this automatically leads to it. Now this doesn't happen overnight. This is very difficult to do. It could take 6 months, a year. It takes years to develop really good contacts. But if you work at it, you go to conventions, you communicate with them, then you slowly build up these connections over time, which is great. Now I want to tell you a story about one time that I didn't have good connections and it cost me. So when I first started back into freelancing, I looked in the area of esports. It was really starting to grow. There was a couple of publications. ESPN started doing esports stories, and a few other magazines. I was looking at getting into this because as I was growing, I noticed that the quality of the writing wasn't right up there. So I thought, well, this is the market I could get into. And it soon realized that I was way out of my depth because not only were they really well informed, they were really well connected, the people that were writing in this field. So anything I was writing was already done or just the writers that were in that industry were already leaps and bounds ahead of what I was doing. So that was a stark reminder of how important having a niche is and being top of the game really is. And so, but this also develops into something else as well. Like, people sort of resist developing a niche, one, because they want to have as much material as they can. They want to be in as many magazines as they can. The trouble with that is but that's a bit of a myth actually, because if you've got a niche, it actually opens up more opportunities. And I got another story of when I was starting in a copywriting company. I found a particular area where there was problems, like web developers weren't getting content from clients and was really dragging out their projects. So I developed a company that would provide copywriting services for their clients. So I worked through the web developers. This is something that was really needed. It was a niche. I could talk their language. I could work with the content management systems, and slowly I built up this huge reputation. And in a couple of years, I was having too much work, and I ended up having to sell the company because one, I missed the newsroom, and two, I didn't want to start having to manage other people. So it just shows how a niche can really open up a lot of opportunity. So yeah, that's it for this week. I'll try and make these weekly videos, but we'll see how we go. I've got a few interviews coming up as well, so stay tuned for those. So thank you very much for your time, and speak to you again soon.